Some bad news. Looks like we did well to keep our distance from Razmir. Our warriors arrested a smuggler crossing the border. He was carrying a large quantity of Razmir's tears, a magical drug that can break any man's will and turn him into a shivering addict. He also carried letters threatening our merchants. His plan was to cripple trade by manipulating our merchants after getting them addicted to the tears. Now that this agent is in our hands, he's offering an apology and a substantial compensation. We set aside thoughts of revenge. I agree that we should extend some courtesy and spare their lives, but gold is not good enough. We should request a treasure from his private magical archways. Payment in the form of magical artifacts. Why not? Can't wait to see this new wonder from Razmir. Have to do something amazing. After such a diplomatic incident, we won't accept some minor... Well, we better know. Because, you know, we better not. Right, what are you going to give me now, pal? The young composer from Absalom has sought my audience once again, just as I expected. He's still working on that opera. The tale of your ascension to the throne. He hasn't a single coin to his name, for he has declined all other commissions to devote himself entirely to his magnum opus. Well, that was stupid. This gives us a perfect opportunity to gain the decisive influence over him. We should help Palazzo. And once he's taken the bait, explain to him that honour demands he listens to his patron's opinion. And make certain refinements to the opera. A grateful naive child. Wow. Oh. But only later will we have to pay. You better fucking pay for it, by the way. Tell me, Tom, what should I turn our old things? Hard work, prevalence, perseverance. I wouldn't say it was hard work, but that's just me, you know. I found a remarkable artifact. Can you tell me anything about it? By awe and unbelievable tension, the burden is far heavier than my shoulders can carry, but I will attempt to tell you as much as I can. I see the light of a distant world. I feel maimed and scarred by the words. Let your unrequited love guide you, and I become just a part of myself, torn away, cast out, detached. Seek it, hunt it, lust for it. I am fallen. I pierce the plains, pass by eternal worlds. I am buried deep underground, concealed from the other, larger part of me. I humbly wait, century after century. A tiny seeding feeds on my strength, growing to unbelievable size. Creatures, tiny and strange, but foul and wicked, settle on its roots. One of them comes into the hall of the heart of the tree in which I rest. But no, it is not one of these creatures. It is alien being, hiding its true face. It throws me through the portal, straight into the craving hands of the one who calls himself King Everetti. Forgive me, I cannot glean anything. Okay, wow. Oh, thanks for your help. For some relics. I can hear the story now, these items. This is the Technic League. This is strange, I feel the traces of runic powers. 5 pieces. Tell me about the Technic League. There's not room enough for you and us in this country. Captains and their apprentices, master and their slaves, arcanists and technicians, good riddance. We head east to the no man's land. We leave to start a revolution none of you has the courage or imagination to engineer. There are 5 of us, Hoggy and me, who snatched the device from under our teacher's nose. Quiet, smart Illyria, who knows the meaning of the symbols on the control panel. Illis and Lamb, brilliant sister, elves from Kanoin, who've been dealing with star scraps for longer than I've lived. We have everything we need to turn this world around. A hunting lodge in the middle of nowhere where the Technic League will never find us. The best equipment we could steal, and a true miracle in a metal barrel, the most exciting artifact that's ever fallen from the stars. A handful of tiny metal ants and a remote control command them. The little seeds we used to grow our empire. We fixed up the lab in the basement, and it's time to get started. Why did you flee the Technic League? Because these backwards fools can't see what's under their noses or above their heads. The artifact is the discovery of the century, and they just seem to be some remote storage facility and expunged all mention of existence. They're terrified of the power the relic has. Well, so be it. This just means the power will be gained by someone braver. What exactly can the artifact do? Anything, everything. I'm not kidding. These ants can create literally anything. Once we figure out how to control them, we'll possess a unique tool capable of copying any item in the world. This one, or those beyond the stars. Gold, technological artifacts, anything we could desire. The lab is abuzz. Metal ants swarm over the golden coin, measured it, and now bit by bit they're creating an exact copy. They move in precision somewhere down on the ground, then return with tiny bits of gold, as well as the other materials they need to build more ants. A happy smile, Alira works her magic over the remote control. Once they're done with the coin, we'll try to have the ants copy something more complicated. He's been on the hunt for 3 days now. He's a smart lad. He won't get lost in the wilderness, especially not with the star equipment he's got. I try to convince myself, but I'm still nervous. To distract myself from those heavy thoughts, I keep laughing. I keep helping Illis and Lamb set up the lab. We have so many ants now. There's not enough room for them all on the table surface. Hoggy, where are you? Get back as soon as you can. It's the middle of the night. I'm lying in bed alone. I can't sleep without Hoggy snoring beside me. I stare into the darkness. My eyes play tricks on me. It's like swarms of little black specks are marching across the ceiling. It's hot and my back itches. I toss and turn in bed. Imagine how we'll return to Numeria with an army of battle robots or gearsmen. We'll all live like kings. Where will you get the battle robots? I don't know. Maybe we'll create some treasure first. Or maybe weapons enough to outfight an entire army. With these ants, there's no dream we can't make a reality. Foggy outside. The fog is so dense I can't see the grass under my window. It's hot and my back itches so much. Lame and out to search for Hoggy, I wander around the lodge without purpose. Something's under my feet. I almost stumble on it. I look through the window. I wait. I smell the rot emanates from the lab, but I can't open the door. It's hot. I want to go out and breathe fresh air, but I can't find the door. There's something under my feet. I kick it away and go back to bed. My whole body itches. I lie staring at the wall in the darkness. It seems like tiny black dots move across the wall, creating odd patterns. We'll return to Mereria as kings. What's wrong? Jaethal, it's hot, so itchy. We'll be kings. We'll get back so hot. So are they making them golems then? It's unbelievably hot. The walls of the logs are covered with glowing lines. Countless ant swarms busily, turning them into what? What is it? I don't know. I scratch my skin and it peels off in bloody patches. Ants swarming underneath. Crawls on the floor, breathing heavily. The smell of rot from the lab is unbearable. It's getting even hotter. I want to get up from the bed, but my legs have been eaten by the ants. I smell something burning. Our teacher looks through the window from outside, his face a grimace of disgust. Did they find us? Wait, we'll get back to the Merias and live as ants, so hot. There's black fog everywhere. Illis rolls over the floor trying to beat the flames. Where's Hoggy? We must have returned from the hunt by now. Storyteller's head is covered with beads of sweat, his face grimacing in pain. He rubs his temples. That is how the revolution of the 5 technically outcasts ended. Fortunately, they were found and eliminated before the metal ants finished construction, whatever it was they were building. Story simply gave me a headache. It's nothing. It shall pass. I wonder what it was then. Offs in the world. What do they work? Grey silence follows you as you approach the elves. They did not move, staring at you and Jaethal as they were waiting for something. Or rather someone, a young dark-haired elven woman emerges from behind the crowd and greets you with a nod. At the sight of her, something almost imperceptible changes in Jaethal's eyes. It's hard not to notice. So that'll be your daughter then? My daughter, my favourite creation and my most capable student. The voice of Jaethal is colourless and her facial expression unreadable. What a pleasure it is to see you leading this band of murderers who may come for my head. Murmurs of outrage erupt in the elven crowd, but their leader remains calm. The dark eyes of the girl burn with determination and there's a blush on her cheeks. It's amazing how such small details change her face. Otherwise nearly indistinguishable from the pale, lifeless face of her mother. I thought you would know that I couldn't stay away. Didn't you always teach me to be responsible for my actions and follow things through? Listen to us before you make any hasty decision. Jaethal is not to blame for the death of the young elves. It was Enno, the Inquisitor of Pharasma, who set a trap for both of us and them. Open your eyes, girl. Didn't I teach you to think with your head and not to fall into traps laid by facile provocation? You might have reasoned that I'm no use in killing those foolish young elves you wish to avenge. True, you had no use for it. But if there were any use for you, you would have killed them without hesitation. Right, mother? That's certainly true. I know you're better than anyone. I know how far you might go if no one stops you. She pauses and then continues sternly. I persuaded the court to send you into exile. I used everything I could, friends, connections, the arts of logic and persuasion you taught me, and achieve the mildest punishment possible. It was a mistake. If I hadn't done it, our unfortunate use would still be drawing breath. Love blinded me. You told me many times that our feelings are our worst advisors, but only now have I finally learned this lesson. It is my duty to stop you, and I will see through it. I'm sorry, King. I have no wish to invade your lands, but there's no other way. Give us the murderer, and we shall leave in peace. And yet, I ask you to leave. There's no need to spill any more blood. Seep through the elven lines. It seems that none of them are less determined than the others. The king of this torn land is right. We are not some robbers to attack companions, even in the name of justice. I cannot allow you to kill Jaethal. Oh, so did that diplomacy make them run? Leave me no choice. Kick. Okay. Back attacked.
I grant your death.
Alright. Okay, I might already do this already. I mean, it looks like she's dead, but I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Right. Oh, she's alive. Okay. Okay, I thought I killed her with like the crit that I had. Jaethal approaches the fallen Nortellera. Freezes like a statue. The scene from the elven camp at the Thorn River repeats itself once again, but now instead of some unknown elven girl, her own daughter lies at the Inquisitor's feet, and she seems still alive. I hear you. She speaks under her breath, and you realise that she is talking neither to her daughter, nor to you, nor anyone else. For a moment you are filled with a strange sensation of someone else's presence, someone evil but somehow jubilant. And then the feeling fades. Her eyes grow clear. Yes, mistress, I am ready. She turns to you. The dark eyes of the undead creature glow like a night sky pierced by lightning. Gather as declared her will. The goddess demands a sacrifice of me, and she is prepared to grant me her blessing in return. I will become herald of her will, her perfect follower, the unimpeachable undead. But she requires blood. Blood and the life of my daughter, taken here and now. Okay, that escalated. She struggles to open her mouth. So you wish to feed me to your ravenous goddess. It's just what I'd imagine she would want. Don't let her do it, Tom. Killing her own daughter or taking her body, that is true. Genuine evil. There can be no way back. Neither for Jaethal nor any of us. Let's be good in this one. Jaethal, stop. You cannot do this to your daughter. Eyes look stern and emotional. Do you understand what you ask? I cannot resist Ungatho's will. Even if I had good reasons to do so, the gods do not forgive disobedience. I have served you well, but now I must have what I so desperately need. Ugh. Okay. You surely put great effort into raising your daughter. Were you proud of what she became? Or am I wrong? Do you really want to sacrifice all this? Barely noticeable shadow of doubt runs through the depths of Jaethal's dark eyes. I will regret it. Perhaps I will even feel sad. Once or twice a year. I will not turn back. I cannot turn back. Gaffa awakened your worst side, Jaethal. But I have seen another side of you. Respectfully, purposely, stubbornly seeking answers. Respectfully seeking of anyone's dedication, despite the fact that he was your enemy. We speak the truth. Sometimes I feel that senseless drifting in a sea of pleasure would never be enough, even if I got everything I could possibly want. But refusing the goddess means suffering her wrath. Also, I can go through all of them. Can I go through all of them? Is that... Can you see what your life has become? Blood is spilled again and again. Every time there's more. Gain my blood, hearted patron, stepping in to denounce me. But I give you credit. At least you are consistent. I can respect that. She suddenly stops speaking and remains silent for a long time. Her empty, undead face does not betray the thoughts and feelings rushing through her mind. Behind the mask, she glances at you, her daughter, the grass, trees, sky, as if trying to put them all into the same picture. I've come such a long way. Eternal escape. Life is constant expression. Decisions made for me. Should I finish all this? Yes, Jaethal, you have to. Fine. She looks at her daughter and speaks with shimmering calm. Do not dare disappoint me, girl. I do not wish to learn that I gave up so much for an orderly, worthless being who cannot manage your life. Be exceptional in everything you do. She straightens her shoulders with a nervous movement and looks straight ahead. I must disappoint you, goddess. I reject your gift. What? So apparently that's a good thing. I don't think exploding is a good thing, but apparently that's a good thing, folks. So I made two mistakes with her as she approached. The first back in Canoin, when I defended her before the court and argued that she might change. The second time here, when I sought to kill, believing that she could never change. I owe you my life and my hopes. I pray that one day I might repay you in kind, but for now, I wish to give you one of my mother's things. I don't think I'll ever be able to touch this again. Thank you for everything. My sister, do you remember Tiltaran? These 3 years ago I had the misfortune of meeting along the pass of the Tours of the Lebanese. He's gotten himself into a jam, run straight into a band of thieves that wayland travellers on mountain roads. His bombs were his only weapons, and he couldn't use them in the snowy mountains without bringing an avalanche down on his own head. By chance, I was climbing up the pass from the other side, fleeing a pack of werewolves, and then there was a horrible blizzard. It all ended in quite a mess. Me and the elf stuck for 3 days in that cramped cave, afraid to peek out. Bandits and werewolves stalked the blizzards outside. The occasional sharp cry rang out, and then silence fell again. When we finally escaped that stone hole, we were sick enough of each other to say goodbye through gritted teeth, and parted ways silently hoping that we'd never meet again. Well, that's hope's been dashed. We managed to run into each other in the middle of some backwater in the Stolen Lands, only to discover that we were on our way to the same place. Someday I will tell you more of our quest and the manner of our meeting, but know that it began with you again, and in turn we discovered what a coincidence that we've been having. The same dream sent to us by a dragon. As you know, everything happens more quickly in parties of adventurings living from one dangerous expedition to the next. It was like that between me and Till too. On the 5th day of our journey, his blank face began to seem sweet, and the jingle jangle of his alchemist files grew soothing. Today is the 37th evening since we reunited, and we're camping inside the cave where the dragon called us. Today, Till gave me a special seashell, a protective charm. He said it will help me survive in the most of dangerous places, and that it remembers the last words said at the end of the day. You can hear them when you hold the seashell to your ear. He gave me this gift and went on patrol. It's his turn today. At first I didn't think to listen what the shell had to say, and then it said, I know you'll call me a careless fool, sister dear, but I know what my answer will be. It's a good thing that Glorian, the dragon who called us here, is also a priest. Though he follows a strange god, you can't have a wedding without a boring speech and a priest ritual, right? Okie dokie. If you don't look close enough, you can see the dirty prints of the thin fingers all along the margins of this paper, as if someone fiddled with it curiously, turning it this way and that. The article of the bestiary is at least definitive of all and cries out for development. It has been recorded as told by a few unlucky souls who survived their encounters with the wicked Chanter. The Chanter is the nurse of the known great nightmares. There are no testaments or meetings from the distant centuries, as has been confirmed by the dragon Glorian himself. We are almost certain that previously the Chanter lived in an isolated part of the dungeon, and a passage leading from her section of the cave to the main labyrinth had been blocked by a rubble for a long time. Then someone, presumably another party of heroes, summoned by Glorian, cleared the rubble, unwillingly setting the monsters free. We still don't know what the Chanter looks like, but we know well the sound. Her appearance is always announced by singing, fake echoes from deep in the tunnels. They forfeit their lives who follow the sound, hearing it in the cry of a friend. It is safe to say that the Chanter is always accompanied by a large pack of various monsters who would not, under natural circumstances, gather together or act in concert. They protect the Chanter, hunt for her, and attack with various force any who enter their territory. But at times they also suddenly spare their victims, without any apparent system or logic. The motives of their unpredictable mistress are entirely unknown. She may simply be mad like many other creatures of the tenebrous depths. It is hard to say whether singing is her way of luring her victims to their doom, or a means by which the Chanter controls her pack of monsters. We may have a chance to find out in the nearest future. Tonight our expedition scouts heard her tender voice in the distant corridor, singing a children's lullaby. The Chanter is near. An ancient drawing decorates the back of the page, a drop of blood smeared in the shape of a crooked flower and sun. Okay. Got mad news for the elf. I have to tell him that his wife was still alive when he blocked the passage and fled the dungeon. Our expedition is the third one he gathered to recover his wife's remains from the caves. The first two didn't even reach the rubble. We were the lucky ones. We've been wandering these halls and passages for over a month. We fell back when we encountered groups of monsters that were simply too powerful to face, then crept back to pick them off one by one, or look for ways around them. Finally we made it. I don't know how the elf ever found this place. So much time has passed, a few dozen years I believe, but we managed. But he managed. He cried out for our kinestist and nodded to the pile of boulders blocking the passage. Clear the path, he said, then stepped aside and turned his back. I suppose he was remembering the monsters dragging his wife into the darkness. So he crawled away and blew the passage with its last remaining bomb. Once they opened a small hole in the rubble, I crawled in to see what was on the other side. As I am the party scout, when I reached the other side, I knew right away that something was wrong. Something had clearly tried to clear the rubble from the other side. I kept exploring and found signs of an old battle. There were scorch marks on the rocks for alchemical bombs, and the walls were scarred with sword strikes. And then I found it, an abandoned camp with makeshift tools, where whoever had tried to clear the rubble once lived. After exploring the camp and collecting a few things, I become almost certain that this was the elf's friend. I'm telling you, it's a curse to be a scout. You take the greatest risks, and you're most often, the one who delivers bad news to the party. Shame on you, dragon. You might have warned me about this. Or maybe you didn't know. The elf seemed to take the news calmly. You can't tell whether he's devastated. He's just pale and silent. Scarcely says a word. But his black eyes flare from time to time. I call him Grandpa, though the elf looks younger than me. He pays me back by calling me Red. Well, at least he talks to me sometimes. He hardly acknowledges the rest of the party. I have a feeling that he's decided to find his wife's bones and then just lie down and die there beside her. He paid us up front, so it shouldn't bother me, I suppose, should it? We've done clearing the rubble and we're making our way forward again. I found a setting camp. I think the woman withdrew here once she realised she was never going to be able to clear the rubble. The place is situated beside an underground lake and it's much more comfortable. There's a hearth made of stone, rough shelves, sleeping nook, made to keep away the cold that creeps in from the water. The cave walls are covered with mosaics made of pebbles. The women made all sorts of things, flowers and figures of animals, the sun and the moon. I looked at it all and didn't know how I would ever bring the elf here. Everything here suggested that she survived and never gave up. She was waiting, and waiting for a long time at that. But the camp was abandoned a very long time ago. A very long time. I found many footprints of monsters running through it and something else, which looked very much like... No, I should banish this thought from my mind. Then, when I returned to the others, I heard the scariest sound that one can imagine in these dungeons, a soft, sweet song echoing down the tunnel. I couldn't make out any words at that distance. I ran, glad of my escape. I will tell them I found an empty camp, but we should avoid the place. It's far too dangerous. We don't want to encounter the wicked Chanter, do we? No, we don't. Even the dragon warned us that a terrible monster it was. And if we will stay well away from the underground lake, the elf will never have to see the mosaic on the wall. So